Hey, welcome back to St. Paul Harley Davidson. Today we're going to talk a little bit about setting the rear suspension up on your motorcycle. Now in your owner's manual, you'll notice there's charts provided for you. This one happens to be if you have an air suspension, so those are pretty simple. If you're going to increase the preload, first thing you'll need is a suspension air pressure gauge. It also has the no loss pressure gauge built right into it, so you don't lose all the air taking your measurements. The other type of adjustment that we have is a knob adjustment preload. That's what this motorcycle has. It may be under your saddlebag, under the seat, or in this case it's nice and exposed so we can see it. I went on to hd.com and I printed out the chart for this particular motorcycle and just kind of drew some lines so it's easier to see. So for example, if we had a 180-pound rider, and by the way, that's fully clothed, so if you don't know how much your leather jacket weighs, you may want to step on the scale in full gear. Set the rider weight, and then are you going to be riding solo, or maybe you have a 100-pound passenger, you'd be at a 3 as compared to a 0.5. So let's take a look at where this one's set up. If you can zoom in on the knob here, you'll see there's a scale. 5 is going to be the heaviest preload, going all the way back to 0. And you simply are going to turn the knob. In this case, I'm going counterclockwise to decrease the preload. You hear it click every half turn. So we're at the 1, and now we're going to go for the half. So we should be set up for a 180-pound rider riding solo right now. If you don't have the manual, or you've got the spring style shock adjustment where you're either going to use a spanner wrench or a threaded adjuster, then we can do a method called checking the sag. So what we do in this case is we take the bike unladen and we'll just work the suspension a little bit. That helps us check the suspension, make sure everything's working, nothing's bound, but also gives us a good settle point. And then we're going to measure from a fixed point on the swing arm. I'm going to use the axle to a fixed point on the frame. I'm going to use just this upper line on the strut here. You could put a piece of tape on it if you want. And you can use a measuring tape. I'm going to use this little rod because it's a little easier to manage. And I'm going to bring this O-ring down till it's right on the line, on the lower edge. Then we're going to have the rider come on and put some weight on the vehicle and see how much the bike sags. Okay, now I'm going to bring the lower one up to that same point. Then, without having to do any math, I can just go ahead and measure between these two O-rings. I can see right here that I'm at exactly 5/8. So if I want to increase the distance here between these two, I'm going to decrease the preload a little bit more. That's what I want to do. I want to get to 3/4 to 1 inch. Simple as that.